Jojo Diaz versus Javier Fortuna. The fight just ended, and what a fight it was. Definitely lived up to the expectations. Definitely the fight that I wanted to see. Looking at this fight stylistically, I didn't see how it was going to be a letdown, man. Jojo Diaz is going to make you fight. Javier Fortuna is a guy who will stand his ground if he has to. You saw in this fight that he preferred to use his lateral movement, work off the jab, use his 4.5-inch reach advantage. But when that started to wear down a little bit and Diaz was applying pressure, you saw Fortuna somewhere around rounds 8, 9, 10. And rounds 9 and 10 were beautiful. Round 9 was the round of the night. What a round that was. And we'll talk about that more in a minute. But Fortuna stood his ground and started walking Diaz down. And it was working for him. And I was saying as I'm watching this, man, continue to walk him down. It's working for you. But the thing was, Diaz caught him with some nice, clean shots. I think at the end of round 10, he caught him with a hellacious shot. And that was the end of Fortuna walking him down. And I was questioning coming in, is Diaz will he be a puncher at 135 pounds? Right? He's a guy who came up from 122, 126, 130, was a guy who couldn't make weight at 130 anymore. You saw that he outgrew the division. So this is his first fight really at 135. So you wonder, will that translate to 135? And you saw in this fight it did, because Fortuna is a tough guy. And there were a couple times in this fight where Diaz wobbled him a little bit with his punching power. Diaz was sitting on shots. He was the aggressor throughout most of the fight. And let's talk about the scorecards. 117, 111, 117, 110, whatever it was. The scorecards, they were a little wider than I expected. I had a 115, 112 on mine. Was it 115, 112? Yeah, it would be 115, 112. Reason being, the point deduction I thought was way too soon. Way too soon. So I had, had the point deduction not happened, it would have been 116, 112, but you take the point away, 115, 112. I just thought there wasn't as strict of a warning as there should have been if you're going to take a point away from the guy that quick. And that was coming fresh off the headbutt, right? So, of course, the guy is going to be a little leery of a guy coming in. Southpaw versus Southpaw, they clinch. And he's going to try to, as the guy's coming in with his face, he's trying to do some rabbit punching on the back end. I didn't really think that a point was warranted there. But that's here nor there. It didn't affect the fight at the end of the day. Diaz did enough to where that wasn't going to come into play. But Fortuna, man, the scorecards were a little wider than I expected because Fortuna was right in that fight. He was right in that. But Diaz started to come on strong late in the fight and made sure that he was going to get his hand held after the fight. But Diaz, he was the aggressor throughout most of the fight, consistently trying to make the fight. And to me, that was the difference because Fortuna was landing shots as well, right? I mean, he was landing a lot of shots as well. The difference was when Diaz landed, you saw it more. Like, it had more flash. He was sitting on those punches more. Fortuna was reacting to those punches more than Diaz was. Diaz was walking through Fortuna's shots. Not that Fortuna wasn't landing with some power as well, especially when he was walking him down and sitting on those punches. Fortuna was also landing some tough shots as well. But you notice the difference in Diaz's punches when they were landing over Fortuna's, and the fact that he was the aggressor throughout the fight. Effective aggression, trying to make the fight, trying to bring the fight to Fortuna. To me, that was the difference in this fight. And Diaz stepping up to 135, man, he showed that he's a true lightweight and he fits in this division. And by the way, we're going to talk about Zepeda tomorrow. I'm dropping a video on him because he impressed the hell out of me. On that undercard. So we're going to be talking about him, and I have a feeling on this channel we're going to be talking about him a lot because that's the type of guy we promote on this channel. Zepeda was looking like a southpaw Virgil Ortiz, man. He was just walking his opponent down, walking him down, power punch after power punch. That's the type of guy I like seeing, those types of guys in boxing. So we'll be hyping him up a lot on this channel And he's another guy that fits in at 135. It's gonna take him a little while longer than it takes Diaz, who is ready right now at 135. A lot more experience on his resume, but Diaz called out Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney after the fight. And those are two makeable fights, particularly the Ryan Garcia fight. Devin Haney's a free agent. He can go fight by fight, work with whoever he wants to work with and make fights. So that's a makeable fight. But the Ryan Garcia fight in particular is a makeable fight because that's a huge fight out in LA. Huge fight out in LA. And guess what? They're both under the same promotional company. Oscar can make that fight easily if he wants to. And that's the key thing. If he wants to. If he wants to make that fight, we already know Diaz wants to fight. Does Ryan Garcia want to fight? That's a fight that will be big out in LA. And that's one of those fights, man, that could go either way. Ryan Garcia would be the slight favorite in that fight, but Diaz is a live dog in that fight. Live dog. He showed me a lot at 135. He answered the questions that I was asking coming into this fight. This is a fight that was close to a toss-up as well. Betting odds had Diaz a slight favorite in this fight. So Fortuna is a tough guy to beat at 135. I mean, he's only lost, really, you can argue he's only lost one fight. Robert Easter Jr. fight could have went either way. Hasn't lost a fight in over 3 years. A tough guy at 135. So, not an easy fight that Diaz pulled off tonight, and he won convincingly, in my opinion, in a very good fight. Very competitive fight, but he ended up winning it convincingly, in my opinion. Great performance by Jojo Diaz, and especially with the cut as well. He faced adversity early on in the fight. He faced adversity later on in the fight when Fortuna started to come forward and land some punches with some power and walk him down. He landed big shots of his own and turned the momentum right back to himself. So Diaz answered all the questions coming in. Professional training camp, made weight, looked good at the weight, looked strong at the weight. He's a 135-pounder. He's found his division, all right? And not only that, he faced adversity in the ring and didn't lose his head. Was patient the whole night, was calm, even with the cut, even with Fortuna having his moments late in the fight, was patient, showed his patience, showed his professionalism, and this guy's ready for a big fight. Diaz is ready for that big fight. So make that Ryan Garcia versus Jojo Diaz fight. If not, let's make Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz. Jojo Diaz is ready. He's in the mix at the top of 135. Man, rank this guy somewhere in the top 10. We'll be looking at the rankings this week to see where he lands in the rankings and everybody's rankings. And Jojo Diaz is one to look out for, man. Fun fighter, very good fighter, and he fits in well at 135. Man, that division is a shark tank. That division is very deep, and it's growing by the day. Diaz and Zepeda fit in well in that division. Add two names to that division that are tough fighters, and we got ourselves a strong division at 135. So Diaz does his thing against Javier Fortuna tonight. Great performance by Jojo Diaz and a unanimous decision victory. Y'all hit me up. Let me know what y'all thought about this fight. God bless. Peace.